has been paid for by the
nOw.
Well, hello. We are back with another episode of the nOw podcast. This week we're going to be pretty much just sticking to the week in wrestling, as we really don't have anything else planned as of right now. Next week we will see. Thank you, Ty. But yeah, we're going to be going over the week in wrestling. I'm here, of course, with Trevor. One that I think might be having issues. Uh-oh. Bum, 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 bum. Let me check one thing. Alright. That should be better now. Maybe. We'll see. Ty scored a goal. That wants to cut in and out. My stuff is acting weird right now. I don't know why my stuff's acting weird. Let's see. Technical difficulties to start. Gotta love it. Let's do this and this and this.
Gotta love when your computer changes stuff up.
I fixed it. Okay, now they can hear you.
Hi, everybody.
And let me know how his volume is as well, because that was weird. It didn't want to give any audio. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Trevor, we missed me saying that you were here.
I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Okay, yeah. I don't know why it did that, but it did. But hey, we're here now. So
Yowie wowie!
Thank you, Ty.
Do a feel better, D.
50 in bits. Yowie wowie.
Hip hip hooray.
And I'm pretty sure that takes the #1 spot.
Nope. I robbed still. He's third.
Is he?
Yep.
Now my headset's acting weird.
I robbed in Savage Selena Storm. It's only 11th of the month, though. Plenty of time.
Okay, maybe I just fixed it. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be doing the weekend wrestling this week, starting with Monday Night Raw from July 5th. And I'll do Raw and AEW if you want to do Great American Bash and SmackDown.
Sounds good.
All right. So yeah, we started out with Ms. TV. We also had John Morrison versus Ricochet directly after this. But I guess first we should really talk about. They kind of had their yearly segment where everybody in the Money in the Bank ladder match is out in the ring. We did have Riddle making some jokes and getting pulled down from the top of the ladder by Omos.
I like when Riddle was on top of it. He says, "This is what we got to do, right?" They always have somebody that has to climb the ladder.
Yeah, and he was saying that AJ looks like a little angry bunny down there. And then he got pulled down by Omos, which hurt his ankle. And then yeah, we had some more fights breaking out during that. But after this, we did have the match of John Morrison versus Ricochet.
Again.
Yeah, again, but this was a really good match. Yeah, the only thing that I don't like about it is that it was another count out, but I'm not too worried about it only because there was actually some. It actually kind of made sense that Miz would get in the way of Ricochet being able to answer the 10 count on the outside and stop him from being able to get in the ring, giving John Morrison the win. But this was a really good match. These two have very good chemistry and they're working very well together. So this is one of those ones that I really don't mind much about. And then moving on, we had an 8-women tag team match. We had Nikki tie with another 1,000 bits. Hip hip hooray.
Hooray!
Hooray. We had Nikki, Alexa Bliss, Naomi, and Asuka versus Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Doudrop, and Eva Marie.
Nikki Ash, not Nikki Cross anymore.
Yeah, ASH.
Almost a superhero.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that storyline unfolds. But right now, I'm not a huge fan of it, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was just another one of those filler matches to get a bunch of those.
All the women together.
Yeah, all those women in one match, and they didn't really give them time either. It was kind of bleh. But in the end, Nia Jax does hit Nikki with a Samoan drop to pick up the win. But it was just meh. And after the match, Eva Marie did pick up the mic once again and say that she was the winner of the match. She didn't name anybody else. Trying to get some heel stuff. Hey, Drayden. Thank you. Welcome to your party of 5.
It was kind of weird that they had Nikki take the pin, too.
Yeah, especially going with her new story. Yeah, I mean, you could have had Naomi or Asuka pick it up, but, you know, that is what it is, I guess. Yeah, but next up we had Mustafa Ali versus Mansoor. This was an okay match. Ali did end up picking up the win with a roll-up, and he did trick Mansoor in this match, which is what he's trying to train Mansoor not to do. So he's kind of trying to be like a mentor of sorts. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. This is still in the very beginning stages of this storyline. But But yeah, we'll see where that goes off to as well. Next up, we had Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre. Yeah, I'm liking this new look Jinder Mahal, riding in a motorcycle and everything like that.
Thanks
I
for
mean,
coming, Paige, and for the raid.
he's just looking, real nice. And then he also obviously looks a little bit more frightening with Veer and Shanky in his corner instead of the Bollywood boys, because they're a bit more menacing than those two.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But
This
yeah,
was a decent match. I mean, I didn't like the ending that much, and the interfere, but
yeah, disqualification. But we did have Jinder Mahal stealing Drew McIntyre's sword, and that closed it out. But yeah,
sword made from the tooth of the Loch Ness monster.
Tooth of a Loch Ness monster. What bad storytelling. That's bad storytelling. Yeah. But moving on, we had Lucha House Party versus Mason T-Bar. For no reason whatsoever, Lucha House Party picks up the win.
Yeah. No reason whatsoever.
No.
Eye-boggling that they're just throwing these two. Well, like I said, I don't know much about this, but T-Bar was great in NXT. Dijakovic. I didn't really see the other guy wrestle. I can't remember his name, but Mace.
It's because he really didn't. He was on commentary for a bit. And went face to face with Brock.
Then he was gone like the next week because they wanted to put him in this little retribution.
Yep. So they made him start training and everything like
Theo
that.
Madden kind of said.
Yeah, so he went from the commentary booth because they didn't think he was a good wrestler to being forced to train and become a wrestler, to now jobbing out to the Lucha House Party. I mean, if there's one jobber tag team in WWE, it's Lucha House Party. And them picking up the win over Mason T-Bar, you're not doing them any favors. I thought once Retribution ended, if they were going to stay a tag team, I thought they were going to do something with them finally. They're not. It's not going anywhere. Unfortunate for Dijakovic especially because he's very, very, very good. Yeah, but there was no reason Lucha House Party should have picked up that win. But next up, we had Riddle versus AJ Styles. I did like this a lot. The part where Riddle stood like he was in Karate Kid.
He hit him with the crane kick.
Yeah, the crane kick. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that.
And that new announcer, he even quoted in done right, no can defend. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. Rated, thank you for the host. Earlier than you normally are today, aren't you? But thank you. Yeah, but to end this one, the Viking Raiders ended up distracting Omos, which ended up distracting AJ, which allowed Riddle to pick up the roll-up victory, which I don't mind. With him having a kayfabe injury, him winning via roll-up, I don't mind too much, especially with that style of distraction. Next up, we had Elias and Cedric Alexander versus Jackson Ryker and R-Truth for who knows why.
Yeah,
Nobody?
This wasn't even really a match.
No, and it was
24/7 title got involved. They're all basically 24/7 jobbers at the moment.
Yeah, this was not good. Jackson Ryker ended up pinning Cedric Alexander, which I didn't think that was too good because Cedric Alexander, I still remember him from the 205 Live days of him being extremely, extremely good. I've been reading the chat. What do you mean?
I think Elias is really good. Cedric's good. R-Truth is hilarious and deserves better than what he's getting. Riker's the only one that I really don't care about. And he's the one that got the win.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the Raw was doing so good for multiple weeks, and then they do this. Um,
And they also had Shelton Benjamin out there chasing the 24/7 title with the rest of the jobbers, which is just awful.
yeah, for no reason whatsoever. I don't get it.
He went
Um,
from Hurt Business being the tag champ to this in less than a couple months.
give me 1 second. I'm changing it now that people keep saying it. There we go. It's fixed. Are you guys happy now? Be happy. Be happy, chat. Um, Rated's talking about lineups, and he ain't even got a lineup. It's still pretty fresh. Still pretty fresh. And it's like 2 weeks old. But anyway, we had the New Day versus the Hurt Business, which was actually a pretty decent match for what it was worth. Of course, MVP was going to pick up the pinfall here if the New Day was going to win, which they did. It did look like MVP was going to hit the Playmaker, but Kofi Kingston countered, instantly hit the Trouble in Paradise, and picked up the win. But I'm kind of confused on what's endgame for this whole thing. I mean, I get the Money in the Bank match and everything like that, but I feel like this has been going on for not too long, but I don't know where else they go from here. I guess it has to end pretty quick. Yeah, Rated, your beard's ridiculous. You need to get that thing shaped up.
Kofi winning anyway.
No.
No. This was a good match for a main event just to end on Raw. And
It was. For
like I
a
said,
bad Raw.
Everybody knew MVP was taking this one. This loss. But
Yeah.
he looked good too, because he hasn't been in the ring in a while.
Oh, I completely agree. Yeah, I mean, this was compared to the past 3 weeks, this was a pretty bad Raw. We've been speaking pretty highly of Raw the past couple weeks, but this one wasn't there. This one was hard to watch. There's not many combination of matchups that they can have building up to Kofi. But yeah, no, there's not. Getting MVP was just injured and on crutches, so it's just weird that he's in the ring this quick. But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. Moving on to NXT, Great American Bash.
Yep, give me 1 second.
Rated, that's got to be a clean beard to fear it. I fear that there's cicadas in that thing.
Opening match was NXT Championship matches. There's like 3 title matches, I think, on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the champions, MSK versus Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. And I thought this was a great opening match.
It was. It was a very good match.
Of course, you had the high flyers in MSK, and then Timmy and Ciampa just hard hitting, knockdown, drag out. Try to grind them out with like submissions. But yeah, this one I thought this one could go either way, and well, I wanted Ciampa and Thatcher to win. MSK ended up getting the win here, but you can't be mad at that.
Yeah, and I mean,
Young
we were talking about last week how this is the one match where we had no idea where it was going. It could have gone any which way. Because we both could have seen MSK losing because how over Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher are, but MSK is very good too. But did you notice after the match, MSK was getting booed. They were getting booed hard.
Yeah, people really like Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
And they like them, Ciampa and Thatcher together. So
Yeah,
you know,
them getting
I
booed
wasn't
was a
that
surprise.
surprised. Not that surprised though. because of who they were facing.
Yeah.
If they had been like against a real heel team, then they wouldn't have got booed. But against Ciampa, because he's been a
Yeah,
NXT
and I
favorite
think
for
it's
so long.
also kind of hard because MSK, they're supposed to be faces, but all of their backstages and their promos, they kind of just seem like douchebags. But somehow they're still faces. I think they're going to be better off as heels once they go that way. Ty with another 50 bits. Hip hip hooray. What, that puts you at 22 for the night. 22 for the night, I believe, if my math's correct. No, you did 1050 and 1000, so you're at 2100 for the night. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But yeah, moving on.
Yeah, that was just a great opener match. NXT and AEW both did that really well. Next up, we had Karrion Kross versus Johnny Gargano in the ring with William Regal and Samoa Joe. And I mean, it was a basic segment setting up for the next week when they have the big match, and hopefully Gargano gets the win, but I don't think he will. Joe's looking mean. I hope he's the one that takes the title off Cross, really. Hopefully he can get cleared soon and do that.
I did like in this how Johnny's line about Cross not being able to lace his wife's boots. Yeah, that was gold. Because I mean, everybody in the NXT universe, as far as the fans go, yeah, nobody really nobody thinks he's a good wrestler.
Yeah, Gargano just bouncing on the rope after Joe got in front of him.
Rated.
So it's just like the old cartoon from like Looney Tunes. He's the little dog just causing like just yapping his mouth while he's got the big dog in front of him.
He started the Joe chant.
Yeah. Then we have the $1 Million Championship on the line.
Scruff.
LA
Scruff.
Knight is the champion. What's that?
Talking to Rated in chat, he said that I had scruff, but he's got a patchy old beard that I showed on camera.
And we got LA Knight who's the champion versus Cameron Grimes. If Cameron Grimes loses, he is LA Knight's butler.
Mm-hmm.
This was a good match, and I could have seen it going either way, but I figured Knight was gonna come out to win with this, and he did in the end. And
That's not good.
so now he has to be Cameron Grimes has to be the butler to LA Knight, and so he's gonna be like Virgil.
I'm kind of excited for that, honestly. I think
hopefully
he's gonna do. Yeah, I think he's gonna make the best out of it.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see, because it is going to be some comedy spots within there. I think it's going to be fairly funny how this
I didn't want to
transpires.
see him just take the title right away off LA Knight. Give the man a chance to see what he can do with it, because he is a good heel on the mic. And it wasn't like the best NXT match, but it was good. Next
That's
up,
not a
we
good thing,
had,
Rated. That's not good at all. Go on. Sorry.
The NXT breakout tournament. They brought all the guys out here and announced who they were. And
So what I noticed, this is a lot of guys from Evolve, which was balled out right before the pandemic happened. Evolve was balled out, and then they were basically just sent on their way. Kind of what WWE does. They take all the best talent and just trash the company. But Trey Baxter, Carmelo Hayes was there. Josh Briggs is another big one that was there. Odyssey Jones was there. Duke Hudson was there. So they got a lot of guys. This is like the Evolve Classic right here. But some of these guys, like the one I didn't understand the most was Joe Gacy. We've seen Joe Gacy in the main event of NXT UK for 3 years now. I really don't understand it at all.
they don't consider it a real brand.
I guess not. That's
And-
sad.
Yeah. We have the Women's Tag Team Championship champions, The Way versus Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. It was a pretty good match. All four women are pretty decent in there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Candice LeRae and Io Shirai are the better of the four. And I didn't think they were going to take the belts off Indy and Candice LeRae this quick.
No, and I mean, why do you?
Especially for a thrown together team.
A thrown together team like that, and I mean, I get it. Like, Io Shirai is like the big deal of NXT and everything, but like, I just don't understand the purpose of taking it off of a solid tag team that still has some storyline going. They're the hottest thing in NXT, and you just take the tag titles off of them for no purpose whatsoever. The smart thing would have been, because we all know that Cross is about to get called up to the main roster, so he's got to lose that title. So he might be losing it here to Johnny Gargano. So you would have had the women's tag team titles and the NXT championship. You could have had Austin Theory go for the North American championship, and you could have had a really good thing going. One of the best championship factions since the Undisputed Era. No, that would have been great.
I don't think they just wanted to copy Undisputed Era with all the belts, but I mean, it would have made more sense because they had the women's tags in there. Also, Tegan Nox appeared on the ramp. That's what distracted
And again, for no reason. I mean, we'll talk about why I say it's for no reason a little bit later, but truly, no reason. You went, what, 2 months? A month and a half, 2 months of doing that percentage little vignette thing just for it to hit 100% and her to come out, and then we'll talk about more about her a little bit later. But you really pushed on that heavy for a long time for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. Afterwards, then Dexter Lumis picked up Indy Hartwell, and
which was great.
They won. So they're back. Index is what they call them. And then we had the Hit Row Championship Cypher. And they just came out and were rapping, and
I loved it.
It was pretty good, yeah. It was pretty good overall, and yeah, they're like a big faction right now, like the hot one. I would say the hottest.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put them above the Way, because the Way's been up and down. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're getting there. They're just really, really new, but you do have gold on them already, so.
Yeah, and you have it on Isaiah Swerve Scott, who is the most established of the four.
Mm-hmm.
So. That was pretty good overall. Then we had the main event. Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. And this was just a good match.
Absolutely.
Really good. We all figured it would be, because both these guys are really good. Some of the best in NXT. And Adam Cole, I'd say, is one of the best in the world. O'Reilly is good too, don't get me wrong, but Adam Cole was just like way up there. And they had a lot of near falls. This was another one that I didn't know which way it was going to go.
Yeah, this was a fun one.
And then there was a couple near falls that was like, okay, this is it. That's how it's going to end. And then you look at the time, it's like, maybe not. And then back and forth, both of them getting a lot of good spots in. Cole kept trying for the Panama Sunrise, and O'Reilly they both know each other. They were able to counter and counter each other over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, Cole did manage to hit the Panama Sunrise and the last shot, pick up the win. And they had a good amount of time for this one. It was really just
they had plenty of time. This was a very good match. This was the match of the week for me.
Yeah. So they're tied basically now, 1-1. So think we're getting a third match from these two?
Um, probably, but I don't know. I want to see what happens with Johnny Gargano and Cross first because I could see Kyle O'Reilly getting the title and it be a championship match. I could see that happening.
Yeah. Maybe space it out, give it some time.
Yeah, you gotta give it some time first, though. That's the big thing here. But yeah, moving on to AEW Road Ragers. So NXT and AEW both had specials this week. They were not regular shows, but they were still on cable television. So to open it up, we had the South Beach strap match between Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall. This was an okay match. A little bit of interference as you would have expected from the two factions, the Nightmare Family and the Factory. But I mean, overall, this was a fairly decent match. It's always just hard to determine what you have to look forward to when it comes to a match like a strap match because you never know what you're going to get. But this was okay. Cody Rhodes did end it by delivering the Crossroads 3 times and touched all 4 pads for the win.
QT spit in his face and pissed him off.
Yeah. I really didn't know how I was going to feel about this match. The crowd was nice. Having the crowd for this match was much, much better.
And the lights went out, and then they were blaming the storm.
Yep.
Which comes up later, but you just thought it was like technical difficulties. I'm like, oh shit, this doesn't make them look good.
Yeah, because the lights came out and they kind of just went out and came back on. Nothing was happening at this point in time, at least. But yeah, they did it a few times in the night, which was good. I liked that little build because people just expected the lights to go out, and then we'll talk about it. Next up, we had Tony Schiavone interviewing Kenny Omega. Yeah, the Dark Order came in, and basically Hangman Adam Page comes out to basically save the Dark Order from Kenny Omega, and why am I blanking on what to call them? Are they still being called the Good Brothers? I wanted to call them, I wanted to call them the Good Brothers. That's why I stopped. As well as Nakazawa, even though he's not too much. But Adam Hangman Page does come out to make the save, and this is very, very good storytelling because this is like 10 years in the making, realistically. This storyline goes all the way back to the Bullet Club days of Hangman Adam Page and the Elite being part of the Bullet Club. Yeah, this is just very, very good storytelling. And then we go to a backstage interview, which had Ethan Page and Darby Allin being interviewed by Jim Ross. And Ethan Page said basically he brought Darby Allin into the business, and he plans on taking him out of it. And he's getting sick of watching a kid with face paint getting pretty much getting showcased on such a high level. But that was pretty much it as far as that goes.
I think it was during this, but it might have been something else. But JR said something, and then he's like, "Correct me if I'm wrong," and I'm sure some of you will. Referencing last week when you called it
WWE Dynamite.
He apparently got death threats over that, and I'm like,
I heard that.
Come on, people, come on, stop taking shit so seriously.
Yeah, to give an old man like that death threats because he missed a word. Yes, he was that V-triggered gravity. Yes, Ty, I hear the battle cry. I hear the battle cry.
So, are they having another, is it Fyter Fest next week, the first night?
Night 1, yeah. But Kenny Omega is going to be facing well, not at AEW, but he's supposed to be facing Sami Callihan at Slammiversary, and that's in 8 days, I believe. I could be wrong on that. I think it's next week, or I guess 7 days from today. I think it's a week away.
Yeah, people need to chill Ty. The death threats.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, next up we had the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. Not the full teams, but it was Jake Hager and Proud and Powerful versus Wardlow and FTR. This was an okay match. I mean, you didn't have the really big stars of either faction in here. You did have the tag teams, which of course are great, and then the two big men, which are really the downfall of each faction, I would say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was an okay match. The Pinnacle ended up picking up the win. And then, yeah, after the match, they chop blocked the back of Conan's knee, injuring him as well. Just adding insult to injury. But yeah, this... Go
I
on.
don't want to see a Tully versus Conan match.
And I don't think we're going to get that. I mean,
but
they can hint it.
I would hope they didn't do that. They both are too old to be in the ring.
Cody is here. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to be that dumb to give us that actual match.
I didn't mind this match because it is the same as the Pinnacle Inner Circle, but they've mixed it up enough where it's not just every time the 5.
No, they're doing. I think they're doing good things here. They're doing good things with this. This rivalry's going on for a while, but they keep swapping it up so much that it feels like it's something new every time.
With Sammy versus what's his name? Ty Dillinger. I can't remember what they call him now.
What was that?
They also had they've got the match coming up with Sammy and whatever Ty Dillinger's name is. He threw the chair at him. He was talking.
Yeah.
They're setting that. I think it's either next week or the week after.
Yeah, it's going to be at Fyter Fest most likely, as well as Chris Jericho and MJF is going to be at Fyter Fest. Which next up they did have a face-to-face. Yeah, and of course Chris Jericho came out to the crowd singing Judas.
And MJF's gonna make him fight 5 battles. Well, 4 to get to him. And he made the stipulation.
And Jericho did accept, and they went to shake hands. As MJF tried to get away from the handshake, though, Jericho held on and hit him with the Judas effect to knock him out. Which...
Not the biggest fan of that move. It doesn't look that great.
No, Andrade does it so much better. So much better. Yeah.
Which is a segue because of what's next.
That's true. That's true. I was just catching up on chat. Background dancer rated's bragging. Next up we had Matt Sydal versus Andrade. It was an okay match. I mean, I expected more out of this match, to be honest, because I do think Matt Sydal is a very well-established veteran in the industry, and Andrade is very good, so I kind of figured that they would have a better match, but it kind of was more of a squash match than anything. But yeah, Andrade doesn't necessarily do the Hammerlock DDT anymore. It was like a Hammerlock Facebuster, which I kind of liked better. I don't know how you felt about it, but I kind of liked it a little bit better.
It was good. The part where he was hanging him upside down and how he's holding the ropes, I was like, why the hell is he doing this? I hate this. That's one of my, I hate that move. And then he moved, and I'm like, thank you. Finally, someone doesn't just sit there and take the move where you hold yourself up.
Yeah, but yeah, him having a new finisher, I like it a little bit better. And And then after the match, he did get Matt Sydal in an armbar before leaving. And then
Using his belt.
yeah, and then next up we had Arn Anderson addressing the AEW crowd. The arena darkened once again, as everybody thinks it's the power outage because of the storm. The lights came back on, and Aleister Black, aka Tommy End, aka Malachi Black, was in the ring, and what a pop he got. He got such a good pop. Ty, Amber Sparks, NAW #1 contendership match. But yeah, what a pop he got. I watched it back a few times from people that were there that posted videos. He got a beautiful pop. And he hits his black mass on Arn Anderson to start. As soon as the lights come back on, he hits Arn Anderson with a black mass. And then Cody Rhodes comes in for the save. They kind of have a nice little square off session there before it looks like Tommy End, aka Malachi Black. I really don't know what exactly they're going to be calling him. It seems like Malachi Black, but the commentators kind of made it weird because they were trying to act like. Well, I also know AEW surprises the commentators too, so it's more authentic. So I guess maybe they were saying that it was Tommy End, and then only one of them knew he was going to be there and knew his name was going to be Malachi Black. So he got called both names, but I believe his name is going to be Malachi Black.
Apparently, JR he didn't even know he was in the building.
Yeah,
Nobody knew.
And that's what Tony Khan has tried to make it known to people, that he wants his commentators to be surprised too. So it's like they're calling the match without knowing.
Reaction.
Yeah, they're getting genuine reactions out of it, which is pretty cool. I mean, but you also get things like this where the name gets a little confusing because he's not being called Tommy End, even though his Twitter and Instagram is still Tommy End. But he is going to be known as Malachi Black. But as soon as you think that he is not going to fight Cody looks down at Arn Anderson to try to help him, and he eats a black mass himself. And Malachi Black raises his arms with a big smile on his face. Yeah, this was beautifully done. Beautifully done. Let's see.
The fact that WWE screwed this contract up and let him out of his 30, he only had the 30-day because
NXT.
NXT.
Yeah, NXT only has 30-day no compete clauses.
Yeah, I've heard they're scrambling to make sure nobody else has that too. But what are they gonna do if they do? They can't.
Tayo's made. His Malachi Black is all elite post was made. That came out on Thursday. No, they're still coming out. Just people don't care anymore because they've been doing the same format for it the entire time. They haven't changed the format since the company first started. But in the main event, we had the street fight for the AEW Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks versus Penta and Eddie Kingston in a great match. I mean, AEW, beautiful tag matches every time almost. Especially when it comes to tag matches being the main event, they kill it all the time. Cody King I would be all elite. But yeah, the Young Bucks end up defeating Kingston and Penta, which we kind of figured once Penta and Kingston picked up the win last week that they most likely weren't going to get the win this week. But yeah, the end of this match was pretty brutal. Yeah, the Young Bucks put thumbtacks into Eddie Kingston's mouth and hit him with a super kick, and that's how they finished it off.
Awful.
But yeah, there was a lot of big spots in this match, a lot of big spots. But yeah, it's
The Destroyer through the table off the ring.
yeah, the Hurricanrana on the weapons. Yeah, they tried to kill each other all match. And we did, of course, have some interference. We had Brandon Cutler make an interference, but Frankie Kazarian came out and stopped him. But overall, this was just a great match in general. Eddie Kingston's dead, yes. He swallowed all of the thumbtacks, cut up his insides. He's done. Yeah. Smiling Captain is all elite. You'd go to New Japan? Yeah, I'd only want to live in Japan for like a month, though. I don't think I could live there for a long, long time.
Whenever they introduce tax in the match, just
Yeah.
like that's gotta. You can't fake that.
No, you can't. You can't fake thumbtacks, that's the rough part. But yeah, this was this is what it is. It was a very good match, very good show in general. I'm excited for Fyter Fest.
Penta at least had his ring gear that covers his back, so it didn't like stab all the way in. I mean, it still probably stabbed him through it, but not like as far. But the Bucks didn't have shirts on.
Yeah, I mean, whenever thumbtacks are in a match, it just looks like it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Moxley won with Jericho, and then we're just.
Britt Baker went through tax.
Yeah.
And then Candice LeRae once ate a super kick with a cleat, basically. It had thumbtacks on the bottom of it. And the Young Bucks gave her a double super kick to the face and cut her face up. That was probably the most brutal thing that I've seen, is Candice LeRae taking a thumbtack boot super kick to the face. Because she ate that thing clean. They sold into it, too. But anyway, moving on to SmackDown.
Alright, we started with Jimmy in the back. They were recently arrested for DUI again. Jimmy Uso. And he wanted to talk to Roman, but Paul wouldn't let him. He said he'll handle it later when he can give him his full attention. And then Roman went to the ring. And he's talking about the family. And Jimmy comes out there. And Jimmy, he's like, where were you last week? Were you on vacation? You know, I got my ass kicked by Edge because of that. Where were you? And then he's like, I was doing your job. I wasn't on vacation. And then Jay comes out, and they're talking about that the family's together. And they were he's gonna hold the title for as long as he wants, and they're gonna be the 7-time tag team champions. And then Jay said he was going to be with his brothers even through the dark times, so kind of acknowledging the arrest. But I mean, this is a great segment. It's Reigns and it's Roman, and it's money right now. The story.
Absolutely.
And then we have a story that I really didn't care about, and that's King Corbin versus Nakamura for the Money in the Bank qualifier match. Again, like 7th time in what, 9 weeks?
Are you counting the tag matches where they were still in the same ring together? Because if you could count that, they've been in the ring every week for like 9 weeks.
But Big E was on commentary here with Pat McAfee, and they were getting pedicures, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee is pretty great on commentary.
I love Pat.
And it showed Shinsuke and Rick Boogs pulling up in Corbin's Mercedes that they bought from the auction.
G-Wagon.
Corbin can't pay his bills, apparently. He might be losing his house, he lost his crown, and he's very emo Corbin right now.
Happy Corbin.
This match. That's coming.
That got the trademark.
It was a decent match, but again, we've seen it so much.
Yeah.
But of course, Nakamura is now in the Money in the Bank match, which I'm glad because I like Nakamura, and hopefully that's going to be a really good match. There's a lot of good people in it.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we had the women's tag team champions being challenged by a mystery team. Talia and Tamina are in the ring, and they're talking about how they don't even know who they're fighting, and basically just bring it on. And then we had Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox, but they just called them Blackheart and Knox. So
no, Shotzi and Knox.
Shotzi and Knox. Well, then they would call them by their full names,
Yeah.
But the announcers only, or the ring announcer only called them by Shotzi and Knox. So I'm like,
Mhm.
so they've lost their names, but then they haven't because they keep calling them them.
And
And
and why? Like my big thing with this was one. Not I had a few big things with this. One, you just re-debuted, just surprised back with Knox or Tegan Knox. You just showed her back on NXT. Number two, Shotzi Blackheart is in a tag team with Ember Moon, not Tegan Knox. So why did you do this? There's no purpose. Why? How do we even know they're friends? They're not even shown on NXT together in that way. Like, it made no sense to me whatsoever. Like, this was Ember Moon's spot, and Tegan Knox was just riding the tank down to the ring. I didn't get it whatsoever. If you watch NXT, your mind was just like, why? This is stupid.
yeah, it wasn't even a match really. It was another squash match.
And that they picked up the win.
You squashed your champions to make two competitors.
So dumb.
Like, yeah.
So dumb. 2 months worth of the battery vignette going all the way up to 100% just for her to say hi on NXT to Candice LeRae and then go to the main roster.
Is she done on NXT?
Who knows?
She's gonna do both now.
You got it. They're definitely going to get a tag team title shot. They have to. They just beat the champions. You can't just ignore that. And then
Well, she's gonna be on NXT as
So
Tegan Knox
stupid.
and just on SmackDown as Knox.
So
It's two different
stupid.
people.
Ty, it can't be a one and done. They just beat the tag team champions. It can't be a one and done. You can't beat the tag team champ. Like, you can't beat a champion non-title and then not get your match. Like, that just doesn't happen. People would ask way too many questions.
And next up, we have Sonya Deville announcing that Bailey got hurt in a training, and I think it's ACL she tore.
Yep.
She's out 9 months.
Yep. And people keep asking if she's pregnant because it's 9 months. I don't think people understand how the female body works that are wrestling fans.
Like, yeah, you wouldn't be back in 9 months. Look, Becky's been out for over a year and a half now at this point, I think, or maybe not quite that long, but it's getting close.
Wrestling fans don't understand the female body.
Yeah, you don't pop a baby out and go back to work. Except
No.
Lana, she did it on and off.
Like, it's so stupid. Like, it's so dumb that people are like, oh, 9 months, is she pregnant? First of all, you don't find out the day you get pregnant. And then like, yeah, you don't just plop the baby out and be like, all right, I'm going back to do my physical ass job where I'm going to get kicked in the stomach and flopped around everywhere. It just doesn't work that way. No, she tore her ACL. Her knee's in a big old brace. She's yeah, she got a Seth Rollins injury.
She did a little promo, and of course blamed the fans. You know.
Mhm. Well done. Well done for a heel promo.
Yeah. So Sonya Deville's out there to announce who's gonna face Bianca Belair at Money in the Bank, and she comes out and she announces Carmella. So Liv Morgan comes out and she's pissed off, like, why? She just beat Carmella twice and she deserves to be.
They're making her
Money in the
such a
Bank.
crybaby.
Yeah. And I don't like that, but I do like Liv Morgan. But
Same.
then Sonya basically told her shut the hell up and let her finish, and she's in the Money in the Bank match now unless she doesn't get out of her ring in the next 30 seconds. So then Liv Morgan's like smiles, but then she turns around and starts talking shit to Carmella, and I'm like,
It took
that
more than 30
Is
seconds.
up. That 30 seconds is up, girl. You just lost your match.
Yeah, it took her more than 30 seconds to get out of that ring.
And then we had a little debut for a promo for Toni Storm coming to the main roster.
Sad that she wasn't just a surprise. Toni Storm's very good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for her to move up. I feel like Raw needed her a little bit more, but, you know, it is what it is.
They got Charlotte. That's all they need.
Stop
Every match is
it.
gonna be Charlotte.
Stop it. You're not wrong.
Next up, we had Rollins and Cesaro for Money in the Bank qualifying match.
Great match.
Yeah. knew it was gonna be with these two. Both these guys are really good.
And the blood elevated it.
Yeah, and he dropped him on the ramp where he did it, where he curb stomped him not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you thought it was gonna be a count out right then, but he got back in the ring, and Rollins wins, which I'm not that surprised about, but I hope Cesaro still gets a little bit more push.
Yeah, it's just bad
I
timing.
don't want to see him just go back to nothing. I don't want him to see him in the 24/7.
Send him to Raw to be in the main event over there, because SmackDown just has too much, and you have Roman, and he's not losing that title. John Cena announced that he's a definite return. So that won't be much of a surprise. He basically confirmed that he will have a match at Survivor Series, or at SummerSlam, I mean.
Oh, see, what I heard was that him and Brock were both thought to be out now of SummerSlam, but
No, Cena apparently confirmed that he's going to be there for SummerSlam.
yeah, I still don't see him beating Reigns though.
Probably
I
not.
don't want him to beat Reigns.
I think
want him to come back for part time and
I would like either way. One, I think Cena deserves to get that one additional title to be over Rick. And then number two, I really don't know who will beat Roman unless it's a Money in the Bank cash-in. Nobody's really beaten him clean, so Cena could be that guy that beats him clean. But then again, this could be your passing of the torch, which they tried to do before, but Cena kind of buried him even further because do you remember when they were on the mic and he said, "I'm here because you can't do your job"?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to do the passing of the torch, but Roman wasn't ready for it yet. But now Roman is ready, so maybe this is the official passing of the torch. I guess we'll see when it comes down to it.
But the Rollins Cesaro match was basically your main event because the end of it was just a little thing between Edge and Roman.
Which is the same thing we've had for 3 weeks.
Yeah, Edge calls him out. Roman tells Jimmy and Jay to stay in the back. He's gonna handle this on his own because he called out it. He called him a punk and basically said he wasn't a man. So he's on the way to the ring, and then the Usos music hit, and he's like gives them a look like I told you to stay in the back, and then the Mysterio's music hit, and they jump through the ring and start beating up on the Usos, and Edge starts beating on Roman, and then Reigns gets out and he escapes up the ramp, you know, and then then Edge puts Jimmy in the
Ty, he confirmed it to Forbes. He said that he was
broke
returning.
a chair and put the thing in his mouth like he's done to the other, like Reigns and Jimmy, and then he did it to Jimmy again.
Yeah, this is the third or fourth week in a row we've got. Well, not in a row. No, it is in a row that we've gotten the same exact thing. This crossface with that bar.
Yeah, I forgot the Mysterios were actually the tag champs.
I just forgot until you said something.
So we're gonna be getting that probably at Money in the Bank, and hopefully the Usos can take the titles off them.
Gravity, you're shocked by that? I think I'm not shocked at all.
He's part of the main event storyline right now.
I'm not shocked that he doesn't have a job. I thought he would get a little bit of a squashy squash, but you know, Vince isn't gonna fire anybody over stuff like that. Well, people that he likes. Look at Jackson Riker. He didn't lose his job.
He's
Slap
making
on the
money
wrist.
because that is the thing carrying SmackDown. They can't just get rid of him. Be like,
No.
oh, where did Jimmy go? We don't have Usos anymore. We have just Jay Uso.
But I bet he does wish that they just stuck with Jay and never brought Jimmy into it. But the Usos are money, so.
Yeah, I think SmackDown was really good this week again.
I thought it was pretty good. There was some spots of it that I didn't like.
AEW or NXT, of course, but you know, it was better than Raw, which.
Yeah, Gravity, but this was his fourth time. He didn't get punished on the other three. Why would he get punished now? They actually, on the last one, he won a he won the tag team titles like the week after he got a DUI. So, this is his fourth one. He's not getting in trouble for it. Even if he gets a fifth, he's still not going to get in trouble. But
You think they just get him a driver?
speaking of that whole thing, Naomi has deactivated all of her social media because people keep sending her death threats that are basically saying that she's a terrible wife for not driving her husband and letting him drive drunk. So, stop being a dick, people. It's not nice.
Think she can control him.
She's not the one driving. I mean, I get it, I guess. Like, force him, but then again, he's his own person, so he's gonna do what he wants. But yeah, that SmackDown was par. It was par for SmackDown. There's a couple spots that I didn't like. Of course, the Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart thing. It just didn't make sense to me. Like, a few things to it just didn't make sense to me.
It was the fact that it was a squash.
And you squashed your champions. That's so dumb. Yeah, then just the repetitive nature of what they're doing with Edge to close out every single show for the past 3 to 4 weeks. It's getting a little old, getting a little stale. Glad that Money in the Bank's right around the corner, so we aren't gonna be seeing it too much more.
We got one more SmackDown, right? Before Money in the Bank? Yeah. So we won't be on next Sunday, we'll be on Monday.
Yeah, we'll be on Monday. And then, trying to figure out what Nancy wants to do as well. I was talking to her, and she does have a few ideas that she was bouncing off. A couple of them were wrestling related, and a couple of them were more video game related. But we're gonna try to keep it to wrestling for this podcast. Maybe wrestling, video games. If we want to combine the two, we could probably do that. But yeah, we'll figure that out. So that'll probably be the next show after our pay-per-view show as of next week. But yeah, how did everybody feel about the week in wrestling this week? My kids are fighting upstairs. I hear them.
AEW and NXT were really good.
They were, and they were both specials, which I like them doing dual specials. Both of them have specials in the same exact week, having Great American Bash and Road Rager. The one thing that I don't really, I'm just unsure about is jumping straight into Fyter Fest, and then after Fyter Fest, you have another pay-per-view coming up. So you're doing a lot of specials here in a row that are going to make them not so special if you keep it up, unless they just knock it out of the park every week for the next few weeks, which they could do. It's a possibility. I mean, you had Malachi Black show up. Does that mean you have Buddy coming too?
Yeah,
Now, Buddy actually, yeah, he was on a podcast. He said they asked him about that because they asked him if he had a 90 or a 30-day as well, because it was right after Alistair debuted, and he said they made a mistake. And it was 30 days, but then they called and sent another email saying that August 21st was his day. So we're not going to see Buddy until August 21st, which I don't mind. He's getting jacked. Have you seen the new pictures of him that he's posting on Instagram? He's huge. Highlight of the week was Hangman looking into Kenny's eyes lovingly. Okay. Great American Bash was awesome. Yeah, I mean, that tag team match at the end of AEW, that was very, very well done. Alistair Black killed it this week, surprising everybody, because it surprised me because I thought he was on a 90-day. I thought there was no chance that he was going to show up anywhere. And then I think that's what everybody thought too. So I think that was why it was such a shock and why he got such a huge pop as well. Because nobody saw it coming.
Yeah,
everybody thought he had 90 days.
Shock like that.
Yeah, everybody.
Not being ruined by the internet.
Yeah, I didn't see any rumors about Aleister Black anywhere. And I had in my head that there was a possibility he was going to go back to WWE because of Zelina Vega. And I was like, well, that would be really dumb of him, but like, I get it. Because he did talk on Renee Young's podcast about the WWE, but he also said he wasn't going to talk negatively about the WWE. But he also still kind of threw some shade in there every now and then. And this was the week after he got released, so it had nothing to do with AEW taking shots. Gravity. I'm looking at you.
We did have the one shot though from Britt Baker.
We did have the one shot from Britt Baker talking about blood money and Tony taking putting on a show in Saudi Arabia. But I thought that was good just because we've all thought it. Like we've all wished. Like, we all talked very, very poorly about it and said the same exact things, that it was blood money and it was greedy and he's putting everybody at risk. All of us wanted to say it on a national stage. She was just the one to do it. I don't mind that one at all. And they kind of WWE fucked with her first. If we're gonna be real, they've dubbed her female Adam Cole fan. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When they showed her in the crowd and they acted like they had no idea who she was.
Yeah.
Jerks. But yeah, DMD baby. She will be in a match in 2 weeks against BMB, only on NAW. But thank you guys for showing up tonight. We do not have a top 10 tonight. We do not have a retro pay-per-view. We did kind of extend the week in wrestling a little bit. We kind of dove a little further into it just so it stretched out the show a little bit more. We are over an hour. By the time I do this close up, we'll be at an hour 15 minutes, which is a little bit shorter of a show. But we've always said that we wanted to keep it within 60 to 90 minutes, so this week we're doing it. But we will tell you guys next week, Money in the Bank. When will you have that poll up?
I could probably get it up by Wednesday.
Okay. So poll will be up on Wednesday. Of course, as you guys know, you guys get strands for winning. And this one's going to be the most competitive one yet, because the ones we've done in the past, you can kind of guesstimate who's going to win these matches. But when it comes to Money in the Bank, you got two matches where how are you going to choose between 8 people in the match? It's going to be rough. I think there's going to be a big gap here. It's going to be less people at the top. So, show up. Hopefully you win some strands. 10,000, 5,000, and 2.5. So that's first, second, and third. But thank you guys for showing up.
Cost anything, and it's
completely
takes like a minute
free
to fill out.
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow, I will most likely be on doing Halo things. I know you guys a couple of you mentioned that the stream title still said Halo, but we're always Halo at heart, besides Trevor. But yeah, we'll probably be doing Halo tomorrow night, as long as I get home on time and I don't have a late appointment. I don't think I have a late appointment, so we'll see. Even if I do, I'll start the stream late, and we might start at 9, just to make it a little bit easier. But we'll always, of course, communicate with you guys first.
Yeah, Travis has won both polls so far. Somebody needs to beat him. I know it's tied for.
I won the last one.
Yeah,
We both won. Yeah, we both were first place.
Somebody just needs to beat him though.
True. I think this is the time he goes down. Money in the Bank's going to be a hard one to guess. On Tuesday, we do have the podcast coming back, The Dosage, talking about 2003 and 2004. Will Omega be there tomorrow as Master Chief? Kenny Omega's always under that helmet as Master Chief. Anytime you see me on stream, Kenny Omega's there. I'm not the one actually playing. It's Kenny Omega on the couch right over there. But yeah, thank you guys Wednesday, Travis will let you guys know what he's doing. I'm sure we're going to do Halo again. We're doing a lot of Halo. We might switch to the Master Chief Collection here shortly because we have been doing a lot of Halo 5. We're having a good time with it, but the Master Chief Collection has a lot to offer as well. So we may eventually hop over there. We have a couple months until Infinite comes out, so you guys are going to get a lot of Halo content. Thursday, of course, NAW. Friday, if I got nothing going on, Halo, baby. Halo. Love you 3000. I love you 3000 as well. Tearjerker right there. But again, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for the generous donations, everything like that. We really do appreciate it. We do this for you guys. We don't make any money off of it. Everything that we get bit-wise goes right back into the community. So we just want to give back and make sure we're giving you guys entertainment. That's the important thing here is that you guys are having fun. We don't want there to be a point in time where you guys just aren't having fun anymore. So if you guys are having issues in the community, please reach out to me or Gravity Well, aka Travis, or even Trevor, and let us know what you have going on. Just because we don't want other people in the community telling us that you have problems as well with other people. So please come to us if you are having any issues. We can fix it. I didn't want to necessarily dig too deep into that, and I'm not going to. But again, thank you guys very, very much. I appreciate it. Trevor appreciates it. Gravity, Lana, we all appreciate it very much. You guys know what's going on this week. Any last words, Trevor?
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
See ya.
The following announcement has been paid for by the